Don't let it go, let it go. Don't let it slip away.
What's up everyone, it's your girl Deja and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'll be telling you guys the best classes to take at U of I. I am going to my junior year and I was able to maintain a 4.0 GPA my freshman and sophomore year. So I want to help you guys out. I'm going to go over all of the general education classes and tell you which ones I took and why you should take it and what grade I got out of it. The first category I want to talk about is Composition 1. So this is a requirement. I took Rep 105. To me, this class was very easy. We just wrote a few papers and most of them were research papers. But we had, to me, plenty of time to complete it. There'll be check-ins in between. We didn't get too much homework. Class was pretty easygoing. So I got an A+ out of it. A lot of people ended up taking Rep 105 for this. So I would definitely recommend that. The next category is Advanced Composition, and I took Journalism 200 for this, and I got an A+. I love that class. At first, it seemed like, oh, this is a lot, but as you keep going, it's not bad at all. You'll basically have a writing assignment once a week, and usually that's about like 500 words. It depends on each week, and sometimes you will have 2 weeks to complete it. But they were, to me, very easy to complete. The main thing is that with journalism, they're very strict on grammar and they take off points like per grammar errors. So you have to really make sure that you're on top of that. I recommend Grammarly, but there's also like special rules in journalism. So you just have to make sure to stay on top of that. There are also weekly quizzes, but those were pretty much easy. And the tests were very easy as well. So I really like Journalism 200. I would just say, like, know that you're going to be writing weekly. So if you're not that big of a writer, you may not like it, but I enjoyed the class. The next category is Quantitative Reasoning 1. And this is basically just math and like science-based classes. That's why I'm not too much of a fan of it. But for my Quantitative Reasoning 1, I took Stat 100 and I got an A out of it. I would definitely recommend Stat 100, especially with Carly, because Carly will give you extra credit. She's an amazing teacher. To me, it was actually easy to follow along, especially because she has this book that you write in. And a lot of people take it. So more than likely, you can find someone else to like work along with. But I would definitely recommend Stat 100 over like any of the other math courses like pre-calc or calculus, because Stat 100 to me is just the best way to go. Next one is Quantitative Reasoning 2, and I decided to take Astronomy 121. Now, for this one, I did not care for this class at all because it was very self-taught. So I took it during COVID, and the way it was, like, the homework wasn't bad at all. There would be lessons, and you just read through the lessons and answer like simple questions, and you get multiple attempts. So that part was easy. We would get other assignments, so they're called exercises. These were a little bit more difficult. They'll usually have harder questions and math-based questions, but you can work with other people on it, so I recommend that. And they're usually about like 10 questions, somewhere around there, and there are tests within this class. So to me, that was the hardest part, were the midterms and the final. I got an A out of the class, like barely, like with the help of God, I got that A, but it wasn't too bad. It was during COVID, like I said, so it was online. Would I recommend it? I would recommend it because, like, when I compare that class to other ones that I would have taken, those classes are way harder. So this one, most people get an A or B out of it. So I would recommend this one. Even if you do really bad on the test, you can still pull like a C or a B out of the class. And like, I don't really know how it is during a normal school year because I took it during COVID, but that's how it was. My midterms, I didn't do so well on, but for my final, I got it together. The good part was that the tests were open notes, so that was good, but it was non-electronic, so you have to like really make sure that you did the study guides, took your notes. And you may be saying, like, how did you do bad if it was the open notes? Hey, like, some stuff is still hard even though it is open notes. But I would just say this class, to me, was decent overall. Like, I'm glad I stayed in it because taking the other ones, it probably would have been even harder. So that's what I recommend for that. The next category is cultural studies, and the first part of this is Western/comparative cultures. And for this, I took Max 100. A lot of people at U of I take this class because it is so easy. What you do is you just watch movies or TV shows during the week, and then sometimes there'll be like mini papers in between, and then there's a test. But I got an A out of it. Pretty much everyone gets an A out of this class. It's a fun class because, like, what other class can you watch movies and TV shows? Like, not too many. And there will be like different lessons that will go along with it. So if we're talking about the class system, there will be like a movie or a TV show that goes along with it. But overall, that class is pretty good. Just don't think that, like, since we're watching movies and TV shows, that you don't have to study for the test, because you still have to study. There is a book that goes along with it. So just know that, but definitely take Max 100. The next one underneath cultural studies is non-Western culture, and I took Anthropology 103. I got an A+ in it. If you take it online, it will be super easy. At least when I took it, it was super easy. Online, take it. That's all I have to say. The last category underneath cultural studies is U.S. minority cultures, and for this, I took History 104. And History 104 is Black music. I got an A out of it. I love that class because we would cover some amazing artists, and one was Beyonce. And so for that, we wrote a paper on Beyonce's Lemonade visual album, and that was amazing. And I think in total, I wrote either 2 to 3 papers, and I took 1 test. But the test was super easy if you did the study guide. And to me, like, they weren't too hard on grading the papers, and you can always get help. So I would definitely recommend Black music. The next category is general education, and the first one within that is humanity and the arts. And you need 6 hours to complete it, so I took 2 courses. The first one was Theater 101. I took this my freshman year online. This class is pretty easy. The main thing is that you have to just stay on top of the assignments, because there will be like quizzes and they don't remind you anything, so it's so easy to miss things. But to me, the class was pretty good. It's always something new in that class, but for the most part, it was pretty easy. The next class I took to cover humanities and the arts was Max 100. I already talked about Max 100, and that covered multiple requirements, so that was really good. The next category is social and behavioral sciences. You need 6 hours to complete it, so I took 2 classes. The first one I took was Econ 102, and I got an A+ in that. Econ 102 was a very easygoing class, but I think that was mainly because of the teacher. I had Jose Vasquez. I don't know if he's still there at U of I, but when I took it, it was pretty simple. We would have assignments to do, and they were just online. We had to basically just answer questions, but they're pretty easy questions. So when I had him, it was good. And if you don't have him, I have no idea how it was. But for me, Econ 102 was pretty good. The next class that I took for social and behavioral sciences was EPSI 220. And this class is called Career Theory and Practice. This class was really easy because we pretty much talked about careers, and we wrote our resume, cover letter, things like that. It's a pretty good class because it's things that you will need in life. The only thing was that I took it as an 8-week course, and the class would be in the afternoon, and I think it was like 2 hours long. So that was the only bad thing about it. So if it is 8 weeks, it's probably really, really long. That was the only bad thing about it. I was like, ugh, I have to go to this class later in the day. It's so long, but overall it was easy, and I got an A out of it. The next one is Natural Sciences and Technology, and you need 6 hours for this, and I took 2 classes. I took Fission 120, and this is Food Science and Nutrition. I had it with Tony. This class was pretty good. She's a pretty good teacher. I had it online, but I know there was an in-person class offered as well. But one good thing about her is that she's very passionate about it. There are always office hours available, and there would be weekly quizzes, but those were pretty easy to do. You just had to like go through the PowerPoints and take notes on that. There were tests, but they weren't too hard. Most people did pretty well on them. For some reason, for me, I didn't do like amazing, I would get like a B or a C on the test. But with all of the extra credit she offered, I was able to get an A out of the course, and I would say that it was pretty good. There would be some projects that would be kind of annoying, but that's college. But overall, a lot of people take this class, and there is a book for this one, and so like the book really helps you with the test, like for studying for that. So I would definitely recommend this class. And for this category, Astronomy 121 also served as Natural Sciences and Technology, so I didn't have to take a whole new course for that since that one did cover this as well. Another category is language. I took this in high school. I took 4 years of Spanish, so I did not have to take it at college. I would really recommend taking Spanish, French, whatever you have at your high school, take it then and there, because when you get to college, especially U of I, I've heard that Spanish here is pretty hard. So I would definitely recommend taking it at your high school. That is it for all of the general education requirements. Keep in mind that sometimes they do change, so a class may not fit a certain education requirement, but you can easily check that by just going online. But I hope that this was really helpful, because this is how I got a 4.0 my freshman and sophomore year. I enjoyed pretty much most of these classes, and I did really well in all of them. So I hope that this helped you in a way, and comment down below if you have any other questions. And another tip is that you can actually look at the average GPA of each course of U of I. So I would highly recommend that if you're considering another course. But that is the end of the video. I love you guys so much, and make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel.